Yo, what's up? It's DNA, and this video is a spin-off of the bipolar series, and it's about self-esteem and bipolar disorder, and why it's important to know yourself with when dealing with this mood disorder. Now, bipolar disorder can and will make you second guess your actions and your decisions and your decision making skills. Now, it's important to have high self-esteem and high confidence and have the smallest ego that you can maintain, and eliminating that eventually. The only way that you can do that is by knowing yourself, accepting and understanding yourself. If you have bipolar disorder and you have low self-esteem, your life, you're gonna there's I think 5% of bipolar people commit suicide, and shit, the other 95 kill themselves in a lot different ways. The thing about bipolar disorder is it's not a mental illness, it's a mood disorder, but it can always very easily turn into a mental illness, or give you or attract a mental illness, just because your mood is all over the place. You wake up days and you don't feel like you're the same person. So it's very important to have a high self-esteem, because what low self-esteem does, one of the things that it affects is your decision making skills, and it makes you very indecisive. Of course, that's what it does. Because like I said, when I first was diagnosed and found out that I was bipolar, or having experienced bipolar symptoms, is I was second guessing everything that I did. It lowered my self-esteem, and the fact that it made me rethink what I was doing, everything, and it put me very much in my head, and it took my life out of my heart. Well, what that means is it it made me more of a brain with a body and less of a soul with a body, is what I'm saying. I made decisions based on intellect and logic and experience more than it cut my ties with my intuition. Just like drinking, just like drugs, just like being met with something that I can't relate to, or can't relate to a past experience. So you have to have enough confidence in yourself to be able to make new decisions and big decisions without thinking that you're gonna fail. But having a low self-esteem, it does a lot more than just affect your decision-making skills. That's something that people don't see. Having low self-esteem can keep you disconnected from people and all kind of things that you don't want, and that's a lot of people don't think of that though, because what do people, when I was studying self-help books and how to boost your confidence, you have to study. One of the things those self-help books said, like I stated in my video, you have to study the people with the attributes or qualities that you want to have. So if you want to have high self-esteem or high confidence, for example, or a lot of charisma, you have to study people with these qualities, and You have to study how they handle certain situations. So me and my discoveries, I was studying certain people, rappers, actors, actresses, um, and I found out that confidence is linked with decision making skills, or that's a sign of confidence if you can make quick decisions. And that doesn't always mean that if you can't make quick decisions or you stutter over your words when you try to speak, that doesn't mean that you have low confidence. That just means that you're human and that you're experiencing something that you're unfamiliar with, which is another big thing. This relates, but I'm gonna go off subject. Humans and people, sorry, humans and adults in general are beings of adaptation. What makes a man and a woman, and us the superior species in this world is the fact that we have the highest, the most, we had the best adaptation skills. We are like marijuana. Marijuana is great and outlawed because it can adapt certain strains, certain not species, certain types of marijuana can survive in any environment. You can find marijuana growing naturally all through the world, in tundras, in the desert, in the Midwest, the West, East, South. And the coldest marijuana can, there's strains of marijuana that can survive in freezing temperatures, which is not, it's unusual for that particular plant. You can find strains of marijuana that can survive in 110 degrees and anything in between. That's what humans are. But with dealing with bipolar disorder, because you have to identify what this episode is, what that episode is, your triggers, when it's happening, why it's happening, things like that. You have to be more confident than the average person. You have to be more charismatic. You have to be the best. Just like when you're a minority or not the stereotypical gender for a certain career, you have to be more than what that person is. If you're a black doctor, a black woman and a doctor, you don't only have to prove that you are better than a white person at your job. You have to prove that you're better than a man, or be the best, or not do it at all. That's why a lot of people prefer minority females when they deal with help and things like that, when they deal with services that are professional, because they figure, okay, she had to go through this and this and this, so she must be the best. And with bipolar disorder, it's exactly the same. You have to know yourself the best, and you're not different in the sense that you have all these new problems, because everybody has the same problem. In a way, they just don't label themselves. Everybody has anger problems. When you deal with fears and phobias, all that comes from anger. And all your fears, all your anger comes from fears. So it's it's the same. All your addictions come from problems with pain and coping. Everything that you indulge in comes from fear and anger. So with bipolar disorder, high self-esteem, and decision-making skills, you have to make sure that you know yourself enough and that you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. Nobody grows and feels good in the process. During the process, after, it may feel good to know that you conquered these obstacles and jumped these hurdles, but growth hurts, and it's supposed to hurt. You're supposed to be in the mindset of survival. Survival doesn't feel good. The payoff is good, but as far as you getting out there and doing what you need to do to make yourself worthy and feel worthy, that's never gonna feel good. So shut that down. You gotta do things that hurt. You have to chase pain. It's a very dark state of mind and life to live. I know. But you gotta do it. So that's my video on self-esteem, bipolar disorder, and why it's important and necessary to have more self-esteem and confidence, and how to obtain that while dealing with this mood disorder. I rambled a bit, but that's okay, because everything had a message that directly related to your situation, to my situation, and to people that you know and don't know with this problem. It's DNA and peace.